to get this thing out of the box, let's get the other Darksiders stuff out of the way. This is the sword from the first Darksiders video game. The Sword of War. Let me see. Does this show? There we go. It's not made of metal. It's a type of resin, I think. If it was made of metal, I wouldn't be able to lift it. Let's get that aside here. This came with the Darksiders 2 Collector's Edition. Some of you have probably already seen this. I want to try to make a metal casting of this thing. Get a mold made of this somehow. The nose is probably going to be quite difficult. But try to cast this thing in aluminium, maybe. Just turn it into a metal skull mask. But yeah, the Darksiders 3 Collector's Edition, or in this case, Apocalypse Edition, slightly bigger. Start by getting the plastics off. There, away with the plastic. There's supposed to be all kinds of stuff in there. Let's see. Statues and art, a wall scroll, a soundtrack, all kinds of stuff in here. So let's see what we can get out of here. It's annoying, it takes a bit. There we go. Oh, I can actually see it there. Oh, look at this. There's 4 boxes in there. So many of you might not be familiar with these video games, but these are all characters from the video games, of course. Vulgrim is a character that pops up in, I think, all 3 of the games. Let's get this out there. This is Fury, which is the main character for this game. And then there is War, which you can probably not really see. I'm going to unpack these in a bit. There's the first Darksiders, that's the one with the huge sword. And then there's Death, which the one with the mask. There we go. Let's see how this opens. Ooh, there is the game case, I think. Looks like it, nice steel case. And there's no disc in there, that's awesome. No, I think I knew this already. This is the actual game box. This sealed has the game. This is just a novelty item. So you can place the stuff in this nice steel case. But there's people who collect these steel cases who don't actually use them. And they just, because if you use them, it gets all scratched at some point. So they just collect them and put them as art stuff for display. Official soundtrack. I love all this artwork that they put on there. Let's see what else is in this thing. Come out. Now this is empty. Oh, game code, which I will not show you, of course. That's for some extra stuff in game. And this is the art book. This stuff usually comes with like collector's editions, has all the game art in it, concept art, stuff that is used in the game, stuff that isn't used in the game. I own many collector's editions now of many video games, so I kind of know how these things go. But as big as this, I've never had them before. So let's see. Put that aside in here. And then there is just some foam. And oh, it's a good thing I checked. And this is actually cool, because this I can recreate with some metal casting maybe. It has 2 rods in it. So there. That's some awesome awesome art. Yes, the main character in this video game is a woman, because the first 2 were all both men. Not sure about the 4th one. That is gonna come out somewhere, I think, next year. But it's about the 4 horsemen, basically. More plastic. This is a kind of like medallion bandit thing. Let's see if I can get it on the shot. This is the symbol of the horseman. It's basically a horse's head. And because this has some nice details in it and it's flat, I can probably use this as a mold for metal casting, so I can make more of these. Won't be as good as this one, of course, but since I have a lot of zinc, and that's very nice to cast with, I can probably make some nice zinc, maybe even some nice aluminium castings, because aluminium would be nice and light. Zinc is quite heavy and strong. We'll see. Let's see. These things always come with a lot of plastic, and you have to kind of be careful getting these out. Now I do have a lot of display cases here, but they're all full, so maybe I need to get another one. And this is also awesome for metal casting, because this is a smaller version of that sword. And I could actually make a cast of this and make an aluminium version, or maybe a brass golden one. You never know. This is actually quite a nice size. This will fit the new small flasks that I made, because I wanted to make an aluminium casting of this thing. So yeah, that's slightly bigger. I'm a sucker for collector's edition. If it says collector's edition, then I basically want it. It's the kind of like in Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. It's the gotta catch 'em all syndrome. I'm gonna have to be very careful getting this thing in his hand, because I'm not really sure if that'll work. Let's get the platform out first. So don't want to break off one of his fingers. This is quite a heavy piece also. There we go. These are gonna be awesome. Oh, that's on there pretty dang well. Look at that. Now to get this sword in his hand some way. I'll look at that later. This is the main character from the first Darksiders game. Any video game fans out there, the voice actor who voiced him also voiced Illidan Stormrage in World of Warcraft. Liam something. Forgot his name. So let's put that here. Oh yeah. Right. Oh, they already put the weapons in his hands. That's good. This is the character Death. There we go. And Death has a big scythe. And in this case, he has 2. And many people complained about the second Darksiders, where you play with Death, that the game was so different from the first one. But then again, the character is completely different and the mechanics are different, and it worked actually pretty well. I love the game. So yeah, let's see. These are all very interesting games. If you like the hack and slash adventure puzzle style games. They are kind of like the Legend of Zelda games, but in a completely different setting. But similar in some of the mechanics. I'm gonna have to try to get him on here. There. I think
And
that's...
Whispering Cauldron says they are pretty detailed.
They are very detailed. Yes, I'm surprised. Even though they are plastic, because some collector's editions actually come with like resin statues or even a certain type of stone. I think you get pretty decent details with these. What are they? Vinyl figures, I think. They are actually pretty damn good. So put this over there. Let's get Volgrim. So he's a main character in all three of the games. Assuming he's in the third one. I haven't played the third one yet because I'm just now taking it out of the box. He's like a messenger character, and in the game you buy and sell stuff at him when you meet him, and he gives you clues what to do in quests and stuff like that. He's like a demon that defies the bad guys and helps the good guys because he's only in it for profit. One of those guys. Oh, I get it. This thing is because he floats. He's kind of a floaty demon. So I have to see how this works. Like this, I guess. There we go. So yeah, he's on a see-through little rod so that it looks like he's floating. And he's basically one of those demons that he's not your friend, he's not your enemy. As long as you can get him what he wants, he will help you. One of those characters. They are usually interesting characters in movies and in video games as well. So right, those are the three ones that I know. Now the main character of this game. Let's see, how is this all connected? It's all stuck in here. So the main character from the first game has a huge sword. The Death has two scythes, and in the game you can find many more different weapons. You can also find like one huge scythe. And in the third one, she has a whip, which is this thing, which is funny because she's a woman and she has a huge whip. So yeah, that'll probably look better when she's holding it. There we go. Now to see how she is put on here. Oh, that seems awesome. Let me see here. Battling the forces of darkness in high heels, apparently. And this is the character. I'm assuming she's holding it like, I don't know, like this probably. Or does she hold it in this hand? No, here, this one. So, again, very detailed character. There we go. So that was the Darksiders 3 Apocalypse Edition unboxing.
Thought I'd give a little slightly more detailed show of these figurines and the stuff that came out. The live stream, clearly the picture wasn't that great because it was slightly dark and my webcam quality is not as good because it's about 10 years old and this phone is somewhat more recent. So what was in there was, of course, the game, your standard PlayStation 4 game case. Also a steel case, quite detailed. Art on the inside. Soundtrack CD. The art of Darksiders 3. So this has all the concept art in it and all kinds of stuff. A lot of cool things in there. And the stuff that was used and what wasn't, and how things progressed during the creation of the game. Right. So, and there was this medallion or pendant which I took the ring out of and the cord out of. I'll get back to this in a bit. Let's get the characters here. First, War. Now the first Darksiders you played with the character War with a huge sword. And as you can see, these things are quite well detailed and quite big. They're about what would this be? 30 centimeters, 35 centimeters high. What would that be in inches? About 12 inches, I think. And the sword is detachable. Get back to that later as well. And then from Darksiders 2, the character Death. There you go. And the main character of Darksiders 3, which is Fury. Very cool stuff. And Volgrim, a main character in all three games, I assume. I haven't played the third one yet, which I will be starting soon. I will probably not be live streaming that or making any videos about it. Nero Trigger is doing a walkthrough of the game. I'll put a link to him in the description. He's playing the game these days. I'm not watching that part of his live streams and his videos because I want to experience the game myself. So yeah. Oh, squeal. And there was quite a large wall scroll. So yeah, that's an awesome box full of goodies. Now for this one, and where did I put that one? There we go. I will be making a mold of this and of this, or at least attempting. And I'm going to try to cast these in metal because this is of course plastic. This is metal, not sure what kind of metal it is. I tested it, it's not magnetic. It's quite heavy, so it's not aluminium, it's probably some alloy. Don't really know what it is, but I will be trying to make a casting of these two items, and I will be doing a video about that if that succeeds in any way. So keep an eye out for that. Hope you've enjoyed this unboxing. I liked it a lot. I'm going to find a nice spot for all these figures, and I hope the casting of the sword and the pendant will work. So keep an eye out for those, and I will see you on the next one.